Hey everybody, this is Chris, and we got a big firmware update for the DJI Air 2S, and we got one for the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I feel like this is just kind of one of those things where we're going to put something appetizing in front of you that you're definitely going to want to update and take a bite, and then boom, you're forced right into remote ID. Now eventually you're going to update your quad and be into that remote ID anyhow, but I'm sure a lot of people want to avoid that update. But if you have the DJI RC and the DJI Air 2S and you really want to use that controller with this guy right here, then you're going to make that update and also have for the DJI RC, but also have the remote ID. They've also gone and added the Gain Expo curve for Cine mode, so that's good. Why they didn't have that to begin with, I don't know. But I mean, you're in Cine mode, you're going slow, you're doing cinematic footage. You're going to want to slow it down a little bit more for some things, and really get that type of scene you're looking to get. Especially if you're like me and you like to do manual orbits, I'm very happy to have the Gain and Expo adjustments where I can turn them down. And then the other thing is they have fly share, and that allows you to transfer your files wirelessly. So all of these are pretty, as I say, tasty. And boom, let's just add remote ID with that. So I feel like some of these are things we could have got prior, but let's just hold on to these, knowing that we're going to have to do a remote ID compliancy, and let's just make it a type update people can't refuse. That's what I think DJI went and did to us, and I did the update. So one thing to keep in mind when you're doing the DJI RC, you can now use it with both quads, but every time you switch between this and the DJI Mini 3 Pro, you are going to have to do what they're calling a firmware update. Basically, it's a saved file within a folder on the controller. Once you select the other quad that you're going to fly, it just quickly, it's 10 seconds. It says 1 minute, but it takes 10 seconds on mine. Just load that file required for that quad. So every time you switch from this to Mini 3 Pro, you have to do that, but only one time. Then when you go back, you have to do that, but only one time. But each time you go back and forth between quads, you're gonna have to do it that one time. So that's something to keep in mind. The firmware update also has a battery firmware update. Make sure you update all your batteries. Those of you who say, I've never been asked to update my batteries, I don't know what you're talking about. Go to your home screen. When you log in, or when you bind and turn everything on, it throws you into the window that you see with your flight window, the camera FPV. Go back to your home screen. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see firmware update, and that firmware update is for your batteries. So after you've updated the quad, you're going to go back, put each battery in, take the battery out that originally was with the firmware update, because it's already done, put a new battery in, and it's going to ask you for another firmware update. So I think that covers it all as far as this guy goes. I can't remember if there's anything else. Fix known bugs and so forth. But now for the Mini 3 Pro, you have, I have it laying over here. I don't need to hold it up for you guys to see what I'm talking about. But also you have the remote ID for that as well. The firmware update for that one isn't as big and tasty as the Air 2S, but it adds master shots in portrait mode, and then style parameters to adjust for sharpness and noise. And then, what was it? Something I was just shooting with the Mini 3 Pro, wide angle lens support. So I tried to memorize all these the best I could. But I was just out here shooting the anamorphic lens review and the wide angle view. So when I put that on the Mini 3 Pro, what it does is it says right in the upper left hand side of your screen that it's got the wide angle lens attached. So it does detect it when it's on. The lens of the camera detects it and says it's got the wide angle on there. The one thing with the wide angle lens is it gives it's you know, if you're going to get the horizon up in your picture, it's going to give you that kind of a start of a fisheye look. It's going to take it and make it look like the world is round. We all know the world is flat, but it's going to make it look round when you have a flat horizon. I'm just kidding. The world is round, you nutheads, nutcases. But that's one thing I'm not real familiar with wide angle lenses, if that's really something that they normally do, or if that's something that still needs to be addressed in firmware. But that's just something I noticed, and I'll mention that in my review, so look forward to that review as well. And that's pretty much it. Just want to make this a very quick one. Try to keep it down to like a 10-minute video for you, and just talk a little bit about the updates. But my biggest thing with the updates is I think DJI pulled a slick one on us, and I think they waited, and some of the things they could have given us already, they waited until they were ready to slam us with that frickin' remote ID. So just depends on how bad you want it, I guess. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love.